Hey everybody, Referral AstartesGaming here, back with the first episode of our Stellaris Let's Play. So I'm really excited to finally get this thing going. Last time around, part 0, we went ahead and we created the Hyaenid Republic, and so now we can just jump right into the game and get started. Without any further ado, let's just go ahead and do that. Here's a quick overview of the race that we created if you weren't around for the last video. I did change the flag slightly. I wasn't happy with the way it came out, so I tweaked it just a little bit, but everything else is the same, so let's go ahead and dive in. So, galaxy size. I'm thinking huge. I mean, we want this to go on as long as it can. Now, what kind of shape do we want? Elliptical? I don't want a ring. I don't want like a big hollow center. Let's just go with elliptical. An ellipses is a circle, so in case you weren't aware, that's how that works. It looks like the maximum we can do is 39. I don't want it to be too crowded, so let's go with that 29 that it had us set at before, and hopefully that gives everybody a little bit of leg room to grow. Now, advanced AI starts. How many AI do we want to start out ahead of us? Let's go with like 5. We'll stick with normal difficulty. Hopefully I can hang. I imagine I probably will be able to. Allowed FTL method, we are going to go with any, so that we'll have all different kinds. You can set this so that you can only use warp, only use hyperdrive, or only use wormhole. So it kind of puts everybody on the same grounds to start the game off. Obviously, I just want to see as much diverse stuff as we can here. I'm going to leave Iron Man mode off because it makes it really difficult to do a Let's Play sometimes, because if I lose a bit of recording, I can't go back and re-record it, so I'm going to leave it off. We might do an Iron Man playthrough at some point, but I don't know. I'm always worried that I'm going to lose footage or something and I won't be able to retrieve it. So let's go ahead and dive in. Alright, in the eons since the first primitive Hyaenid communities took shape amid the great dune seas of Aria, our civilization has spread and prospered. Many wars were fought between our early nation-states, and those who could not defend themselves disappeared or were absorbed by stronger neighbors. These endless wars fostered a strong martial tradition, and to this day, full citizenship is reserved for those who have proved willing to sacrifice themselves in defense of the state. Now, after the discovery of the hyperlane network, the finest minds of the Hyaenid Republic have finished development of the first hyperdrives. The stars themselves are finally within our grasp. Okay, and there's just another quick overview, in case you want to learn a little bit more about our race. Again, this text right here is going to vary pretty widely depending on your empire setup. So obviously here it's talking quite a bit about our militaristic background and how that influenced us coming up in the world, or in the worlds, I guess, in this case. So obviously if you had chosen like a theocracy or something like that, it's going to say something extremely different there. So let's go ahead and start.
Consul. I am Veer, a prototype synthetic intelligence developed under utmost secrecy by
I'm going to
the
skip the
military.
tutorial. Just give me some tips.
Very well. I will...
Alright, so there's a couple things we need to do before we unpause. Let's zoom in here and take a look at our planet. Whoops, there's our naval fleet. First task force, we're not going to leave that name.
The spaceport tab is where we view orbiting.
Yeah, thanks. Okay. So here's our spaceport. This is where we build ships.
Here we see a
the
visual
surface.
representation.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to turn him off. Crap, how do I do that? I'll figure it out later. So this is where our population sits. And so this might look very familiar depending on your experience with 4X games. But basically, these are representations of our population, and so each tile will produce something, in this case food, in that case minerals, in that case energy credits. Energy functions as both energy and money in this game. It's kind of strange, but you get used to it. Minerals are basically materials you need to produce things, and then influence you spend on diplomatic actions. So got a pretty good balance here, although how are we doing on food? I'll probably leave him there. I know that food is very important early on because the amount of food you have beyond the amount that you require goes straight into the growth of more populations for your planets. So the more food you have, especially early, the faster you get the new populations to fill out the rest of these. So obviously these guys here need to be cleared at some point. I don't have the funds to do it right now. Well, I sort of do, but I'm not going to do that yet. We'll probably leave everything as is, and then the next guy we get will go in here to grab that engineering research, and then we'll slowly clear these off as we go. You can see that some of these have buildings, such as hydroponics farms. We can build another farm here if we like. Oh, we can actually enslave our people too. So I could build another farm there, for example. So if I decided to build, say, a mining network there instead, what would happen is I would get the 2 minerals that this produces, but I would lose that 1 food. You can only harvest one resource per tile, basically. That's not a good way to explain that. So if you build something on a tile that matches the resource on that tile, you gain whatever's on that tile plus whatever this builds. So for example, if I built a science lab here, I would get 1 physics research plus another physics research. What is that one? Okay, society research and engineering research. So it'd be 2, 1, 1. Now, if I built a hydroponics farm there, I would lose this research and I would just get the 2 food. The planetary administration, when you build a new colony, for example, is going to give a bonus to every adjacent tile. So you want to place them somewhere like this where you have the most adjacencies possible. And yeah, that's the basics of this system anyways. I'm not really going to mess with any of this right now because I don't have a ton of resources to spend. And also, there's not really anything to do. We could move him to like here, but the research is not going to be as important right now as the food is. So we can get rid of those. We need to choose some research, speaking of which. So let's go into our technology tab.
The technology screen is where we will be directing our research.
I didn't think he'd be that annoying. I assumed wrong. Okay. So there are 3 different categories of research, as you probably guessed from the I don't know what to call them, statistics, traits. They're not really traits. The resources that you saw in the previous screen. You've got your physics, you've got your society, and your engineering. And so you can research 1 of each tech at a time. And this shows the bonus to research speed that you currently have. So we have +2 to everything right now. Let's see what physics researches we have available. This is the amount of time it's going to take. So basically, 240 physics research is equivalent to 48 months. So 4 years. I guess you could just say then that about 60 research is equivalent to about a year. So let's see, survey speed. This is going to give me gravitic sensors for our ships. I don't think we need that just yet. Orbital energy conversion would give me solar panel networks for my planets. Global energy management would give me +500 storage capacity. There are caps on these, so you can see here 200 out of 5,000. If we go over that 5,000 cap and don't spend any of it, we lose it. So you'll probably want to be spending those anyways, but if you do hit your cap, you're going to lose everything that goes over or exceeds it. So you want to make sure that your cap is fairly high if you're not going to be spending that stuff. This will also give me Power Hub 1, which is going to produce energy. They're all tempting. One of these is going to be the better choice. This is not a bad choice, but it's too early for this, I would say. The way that research works in this game, by the way, just let me explain it really quickly, is think of them as like cards in a deck that's constantly shuffled. So if I choose one of these, the other 2 get shuffled back into the deck, and I won't necessarily see them the next time I need to choose a new physics research. I may not. They probably will come up later, but chances are at least 2 of the new research options are going to be things we haven't seen yet. There are also rare technologies, and so there is sort of this balance of taking the quickest, the most urgent technology, but also taking the best technology available. So if we had a rare card in here and we chose to pass on it, we may not see that card again for a very long time. Now, the deeper you get into the game, the more often you see the rare ones. Early on, you're probably not going to see many, if any at all. So there is kind of a little bit of a balance that needs to be struck there. I think for now I'm going to take... I don't know. I'm going to go with this one. I wish we had, like, deflector shields or something. Let's see what we can do with society now. With society research, you're always going to have the option to build, colony ships right out of the gate. That's always available on the first one. You can see it is going to take a pretty long time, though. But that's obviously going to be the best choice for us currently. Yeah, so we'll take that. And then engineering, we got geothermal fracking, which will let me get better mining networks, improved spaceports, which will give me Corvette assembly yard modules and spaceport level 2. That gets us pretty close to destroyers, although there's one more tech we need to get destroyers. Right now we can only build corvettes. But since we are a militaristic society, it might be good to rush that. Or we can get engineering facilities, which give me basically the same as the normal research building, but an extra engineering research on top of that. This is really tempting. But I think it would be better to wait on that just a bit. This would give me mining network 2. I think this is the smartest choice. This isn't a bad choice, although right out of the gate it's probably not necessary. And this one is probably the most aggressive choice. But again, I think this is the smart way to go, so I'm going to take that one. Alright, so there's all our research chosen. We can design ships.
Can use within our
You can create new designs. You can expand on current designs. So let's look at our corvettes really quick and make sure they're optimally built, I guess. So there's different cores. There's the striker core, interceptor core, or shifter core. You can see that these all have different weapon slots. So this is going to give me one small node, one medium node, and 5 small utility nodes. This is going to give me 3 small weapon nodes, 5 utility nodes. This is going to give me 1 small weapon node and 3 small and 2 medium utility slots. I think overall this is the best choice right here because we don't really have, although we might have medium. Yeah, we have medium mass drivers. I like that they show up on the ship. That's really cool. I don't like the way these ships look though. I don't like the weird wings. I like all the other ships though. Just the wings on this one kind of bug me. So we could go medium and small, like so. Or we could go with the interceptor core and just do like 1, 2, 3. Although, what's the damage difference? Will it show me? So the cost is 2.5 versus 5, so half. Let's see, damage 3 to 15, 6 to 31. So the damage is basically double as well. The accuracy is slightly lower though. The range is better. Let's see, so average DPS, this is a little under 2, and that's about 3.5. So, I think if we want range, that's the way to go, but the DPS is actually slightly better with the 2 small mass drivers, so we'll go with this build, I suppose, because the DPS is going to be like 1.64 versus, or sorry, it's going to be like 3.64 versus 3.55. So the DPS is slightly higher, the accuracy is slightly higher, the range is just a little bit lower. But these are small, fast ships, so we want them in nice and close. We'll let the big ships hang back and deal with the enemy. And then, how many reactors do we need? Let's see. You need at least enough to power this ship, so we'll go like 1, 2. And that's probably all we need right there. I could throw in another one, but I think that's just excessive. Is there anything else I can add there? I don't think so. Hyperdrive 1, that's our only option. Combat computer, that's the only option. Chemical thrusters, and ship-mounted radar system. So this is going to be pretty much everything that we can do right now. But yeah, I think this is going to be the best way to maximize our DPS. So we'll go with that. Let's go ahead and save it. We'll overwrite the current one. And we can also do this for our construction ships, although I don't know that you really need to do that. And your science ships, you can put some armor or weapons on. Actually, no, it's only got utility slots. Never mind. No weapons. You could add more power or something, though, as you know these get better and better. Yeah, nothing that we can really add there. So let's go ahead and leave that alone for now. We already have a science ship, as he's annoyingly letting me know right now. And we also have a construction ship right here. And so the first thing we want to do with our science ship, and there's a couple ways to do this, is we want to survey everything in our system. And so you can do it from this screen, or if you go out to the galaxy screen, you can actually just right click here and say survey system, and he'll just go ahead and do everything. So let's hop back in here, and you can see he's got a path set up now where he's going to go and survey everything in the area. The construction ship, I don't think there's really anything we can do with just yet until we've got everything surveyed. Let's actually take a look and see what you can do.
Construction ship, which is used to construct space stations.
Let's go ahead and move there, I guess.
Astronomical objects such as a
basically, what he's going to be doing for the most part is creating mining stations on planets that we can't colonize. So that's going to be his primary purpose for the most part. And then we have our fleet here. And for now, we're just going to kind of leave them as is. But obviously, very soon, we're going to want to upgrade that. So, is there anything else we need to do before we get started?
The Empire screen list.
Alright, so let's see. We can choose a module. No, apparently we cannot. Let's see if we go here. Where's our spaceport? Is there any module? Okay, we don't have any available, that's why. We can build stuff, though. Another science ship is not going to be a good idea this early. Construction ship, probably not going to be necessary for a very long time. Corvettes wouldn't be a terrible choice, but they do cost power, and we don't have enough energy credits right now to sustain significantly more ships, so we're going to wait on that. But let's go ahead and get the clock rolling, I guess. We'll start exploring. Although we did already waste most of the episode just kind of doing that, but that's fine. We got to get the game set up. And so there's normal, fast, and fastest. We'll stick on normal for now. We'll probably get into the faster speeds as we get deeper into the playthrough, but in the early game, God, it doesn't want to lock on this guy. In the early game, I think it's going to be smarter to stay a little bit slower and keep tabs on everything. So this is a molten world that's not inhabitable. It doesn't have any resources either. That's really unfortunate because that thing is basically just a big floating rock that we can't do anything with. Hopefully some of these other planets are going to be usable. What's he surveying? Oh, he's surveying our star. Anything of note? The large Class B main sequence stars are very bright and blue, although somewhat rare. The luminosity of these stars makes them among the most visible to the naked eye. Cool. What do we got here? A barren world. That's not going to be very useful either. Maybe it'll have some resources for us, though, that we can start mining. No resources. Okay, we're kind of striking out right now. While he's doing that, let's go into...
In the contact screen, we see a detailed list.
Diplomacy. We don't know anybody yet, obviously. We'll go to our empire then. And we can create sectors. What else can we do? Situation log. Oh, we got some energy there. Well, we can't inhabit it, so let's grab the construction ship. And we'll fly on down here. And we'll tell him to build a mining station there. And that'll give us +3 to our energy income, which is going to be pretty useful. Hopefully we get a nice balance of energy and minerals. It's never good when you have too much of one and not enough of the other. Where are you headed? Okay, you're just kind of hopping all over the place. Let's jump out real quick and look at our hyperspace lanes. So if we had chosen a different FTL drive, we wouldn't be able to see these lanes.
We have found an anomaly. From time to time, our science ship anomaly found.
So we found our first anomaly. Let's pause. Now, anomalies are like research events that you can pass or fail depending on the character. This one, because it's very early in the game, has a 0% failure risk. For the most part, if you fail, there's not really a negative consequence, although there are times where there can be, and sometimes they're very bad negative consequences if you fail. But this one we can't fail, so we may as well just go for it. It says, during the survey of our home system, we found something on Lygira that did not match earlier observations made from our homeworld. Let's just go ahead and research it. Again, we can't fail it, but it's only a level 1. But these guys do kind of gain skill, so hopefully that boosts him a little bit. But yeah, so we can see these hyperspace lanes, and you'll notice that we can't jump from here to here, for example. We'd have to go around like that. We can't go there to there either. So there are a couple limitations to this. Oh, you can't go there to there either, huh? That's really short. Let's hop back in. We're probably going to stick to this particular part of the map for a while, just because we need to kind of figure out what's going on in our own system before we start worrying about other systems. Huh. Oh, right, we're still paused. I should probably unpause that.
Fleet detected.
An unidentified object has been detected on a direct course towards the Foldora system. Okay.
These are unknown spacefaring entities.
There are random, unaffiliated, hostile aliens that kind of move around the map that aren't of a major concern unless they like fly right up to your homeworld. They will attack you if you go after them, but they're not particularly dangerous unless you're like really weak. Like right now. How are we doing on this? Oh, autosave. He's almost done.
The government screen presents us.
Okay, just stop talking, please. I'm gonna turn him off in between episodes. So, because we're a republic, we have an election every 5 years. Our naval capacity is currently 12. We don't have any modifiers right now.
The budget tab tallies up.
We've got, let's see, ship maintenance, army maintenance, station maintenance, and building maintenance for a balance of about 2.5. So it's actually a little bit higher than the 2 it's showing right there. We have detected a weak FTL trail near Lygira. It is very old, making it impossible to track. This must mean that other interstellar travelers have been here before, watching us, surely gathering intel. We should continue to investigate these sorts of anomalies whenever we get the chance. It will most assuredly grant us new knowledge and technology. We must beware the Xeno threat. So, had we been xenophilic, for example, this text would be very different, and it wouldn't have this kind of dark tone to it that our xenophobic inkling is giving us right now. So he's on... Ooh, he's on to the next planet. There are some resources here that we might want, so we'll grab those. I think you're done. Oh no, not yet. When this turns green, we'll know that he's done there. So he's not quite there yet. Where is this? Unknown system. Why am I there then? I don't want to get lost. Let's see, we'll hop back in here. The administration on Aria received Science Officer Muldrig Den Vathreg's report on the alien remnants with some apprehension. The leavings in question are now widely considered to be definitive proof of unknown forces once having been active in the galaxy, though some prominent Hyaenid thinkers reject this in favor of identifying the traces as freak geological formations or results of curious natural phenomena. We will see. We will see very shortly, I imagine. So are you done yet? 95%. Okay, so he's almost done. Then we'll have him go build a mining station here. Perfect. So let's send you over there. Or it's actually this thing right here. Build a mining station. We can afford that. Nothing on either of these, huh? That's a real shame. Wow, we got a really bad starting system. Did we didn't survey that yet, but it's barren. Yeah, I mean, we could not have gotten a worse starting system. None of these had anything, huh? Interesting. Right, well, I think we're out of time, so I'm going to go ahead and end the episode right here, and we'll pick back up right where we left off, continuing to survey whatever we can, although I think we might be running out of stuff in our system to survey, so we might have to branch out and survey some of the neighboring systems. We'll continue to build some, you know, mining stations and stuff to gather resources, and hopefully we can make some significant technological progress. We're actually not doing too bad here. These are about a fifth of the way done, maybe a little bit more than that, and this one obviously not quite so much, more like a seventh of the way done, but we're getting there. There's going to be a lot of technology that's going to kind of jump in front of these as we start to discover new alien races, but for now we'll keep hammering out as much of this as we can. So as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Please feel free to share my videos however you guys see fit, and I will see you guys back here for part 2 of our Stellaris Let's Play.